Welcome back to another Reddit reaction, boys and girls, the series where I go on Reddit so that fortunately for you guys, you do not have to. I haven't actually been on Reddit since the last episode, and usually that is the case, but every now and then I'll check, you know, when there's a big announcement or something like that. I haven't actually checked for all the Redux stuff that they announced a while back, so I'm really interested to see how this one goes. And without wasting any time, let's set this to the top posts of this month. The original Hourglass. Hate this map. It is just literally sand. At your service, my queen. I was thinking this the other day. On the new version of Hourglass, there is that big section, I think it's literally what this picture is, where there's just there's nothing. It's just sand. And I was in that section trying to run across because there was no vehicles and I just had to sprint like a whole kilometer. And I was thinking, this is just so terrible. And that, you know, why do I like Sinai Desert having that, but not Hourglass? It was very confusing to me, and I actually thought about it and went, you know what, maybe I'm a little bit too harsh on it. To be fair, it's probably because Sinai Desert had, the rest of the map was like genuinely very good, whereas the Hourglass map is just not good. Oh man, that actually kind of makes me feel sad. All the old Battlefield YouTubers, and then it's just Jack Frags left. Man, it's kind of hit me in the feels a little bit. Well, last gen players right now, you guys had a stadium. That is true. They never had that. I never actually realized that. The last gen players did not have the stadium. So to them, the new map is probably no different. That is actually mind boggling because that was the only part of the original Hourglass that was even remotely decent, and it wasn't even that good, to be honest. But the game now visually shows how long until we get kicked as the squad leader. I did notice this, and I'm a big fan of that. That's a really good change in my opinion. Okay, I don't want to read this because this part got me angry, but I'm gonna rant about it. I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was some sort of interview with Ryan MacArthur. Let's read through what Ryan MacArthur said. When we look back at the data and we've really started moving forward with introducing the class systems, one of the big things we really started to understand was that a lot of our issues came from the fact that players didn't understand the specialists or how the specialists were meant to work. And if you don't understand how something is supposed to work, of course you believe the old way was better. Feedback from players was really good around this, so we had to find a way to give them what they wanted, still allow us the freedom and flexibility that we originally wanted to. That is the most tone-deaf, dumbass thing that I've ever heard a developer say, in my opinion. Or it's up there. I've probably heard some dumber stuff, to be honest. But the whole, like, the way that DICE and the people within DICE, not everyone, but a lot of people within DICE, respond to the community feedback by essentially saying, nah, you're wrong, is literally the most tone-deaf thing of all time. We didn't not understand the specialist. We understood them completely fine. They were absolutely terrible, and the reason that they didn't work is not because we didn't understand them, it's because Battlefield is not a hero shooter. That is literally the dumbest thing he could have said. Even if they think that internally, just keep it internal. Don't be going out in an interview and like essentially bashing your player base. He's essentially just saying, we made something that the players were too dumb to understand, so we just had to change it back. That is essentially what he's saying, and that is just the most annoying thing, that they're kind of trying to pin the specialist on us. I didn't decide to put specialists in the game. They did. They were terrible. They did not work. They were not even specialists. They were meant to be, like, the title specialist means they're meant to specialize in something. They were literally just specializing in nothing. You could just use any specialist with any weapon and whatever. So they clearly didn't understand how to do it properly. And then they've now tried to, I say they, I know it's just one person. I shouldn't blame all of DICE, but this dude, he's very tone deaf. He's said some stuff in the past too that was just like, what are you talking about, mate? He's also, for context, only just come aboard the team for Battlefield 2042. So he's not been around since, you know, Battlefield 3 and 4. We probably know more about Battlefield than this guy. So anyway, this was very frustrating. I was gonna make a full-on rant video when this came out, and I thought, you know what? I don't need to increase my blood pressure. I'm just gonna leave it. But me and Sage on the Battlefield show, if you guys haven't seen, we do a weekly podcast. We had a big rant about this. That episode actually never went live because his audio got messed up. It's probably a good thing because we went quite hard on this dude. And it's probably good that will never see the light of day. We didn't say anything rude, but we went hard on that bloke. So still to this day annoyed about this. I'm just going to leave it there because I could go on for ages, but not a big fan. I might read some of the comments actually. The actual title for this says, I spent $100 on this trash at launch and they blame us, the community. How do you change what has been working for years just to say it's our fault and then it didn't go over well? Pretty much summed up my thoughts. Now, there is a reply from Stratford. Let's open this bad boy up. Am I the only one waiting till this post flare changes to DICE replied? They're scared to respond to posts that are factual. And then Stratford replied, true dat. That in itself, mate, is very tone deaf. Don't be taking the piss. That is also tone deaf from Stratford. I'm not a big fan of that. That's a good comment from Laughing Iguana. Jesus fucking Christ, Ryan, what a cunty thing to say. Holy fuck. That also sums up my thoughts a little bit, to be honest. Anyway, I'm going to leave that post there. That I could go on forever about that. Just be nice to community, even if, like I said, even if internally they think we're the dumbest player base ever and they just think we're all idiots. The PR dude at DICE must be like, are you guys fucking serious? Like, just shut up. He must be so annoyed. Did anyone realize that Hourglass was based on the actual location in Qatar? I did, because every map in the game, or the base maps, I don't know about the seasonal maps, but all the base maps were actually based on real locations. They're not like meant to be straight up copies, but they just kind of took the big areas. It's the same with Kaleidoscope. That's like there is a real place in Songdo, South Korea that is meant essentially the same. It's a little bit different, obviously, but I know like Manifest was Branny Island. Like they're all based on real stuff, so it's not really news to me. I wonder if everyone knew that or not. Yeah, I think all the maps are. That's an underrated comment. So obviously it says, does anyone realize that Hourglass was based on the actual location in Qatar? And this dude says, I think all the maps are. And then he says, that's a lie. Breakaway is Antarctica, not Qatar. Taking the piss, saying that all the maps are based on Qatar. Oh my God. That's a good comment. Big fan of that. It's pretty much just a dad joke. Damn. Skin weapons aren't so far-fetched. Sorry, skin weapons? Weapon skins aren't so far-fetched after all. That looks like the same freaking AK-24 skin that's in 2042. And then we got a freaking Doge tank. Wow. Super Bonker 9000. Wow. Okay. What the hell? EA says the next Battlefield will be a reimagination as a truly connected ecosystem. That makes me nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Because what the hell is a reimagination? As if 2042 wasn't the reimagination. It kind of makes me scared. I don't know. I try not to read into that stuff too much, but just definitely the term reimagination, when all we want is to go back to like the roots of Battlefield, that scares me a little bit, I won't lie. And then someone actually, this is almost a reply to that, where it says reinventing the game. Here's inspiration, and they've just got, by the looks of it, all the Battlefield 4 maps. Oh, that's Battlefield 3. Cyan Crossing. Man, these maps were goated. Oh, that's Battlefield 1. Army Inn. Argonne Forest. Man, I hope the next game has got maps of this quality. That's really just the main issue for me with 2042. There's a lot of issues, but like just the maps weren't as good. I think when the game doesn't have good maps, it makes it really hard to like fully get into it. Even with all the issues that 2042 has had, if the maps were like elite, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. They've shown with the seasonal maps, pretty much every map we've gotten in a season has been good, in my opinion. So I think they are still capable of making good maps. I think the vanilla maps were just rushed. I think that was the issue. They needed more time with the game. I do think the next game can still have good maps. It's just that hopefully they take their bloody time with it. So we got a picture here of, I'm sure you guys would have seen this, but in the little like Redux announcement, they showed a snippet of the next map. This is going to be the season 6 map. Looks cool so far. It's just 2 pictures. It's impossible to tell. It looks like it's a night map. Like it's hard to tell because it could have just been, it could even just be raining. It could be daytime, and it's just the contrast in this area is not that good or whatever. It's hard to tell because there's a bit of light up there that looks like maybe it isn't actually night. It's obviously dark, so it feels like it's a night map. Kind of looks like it's a foresty type map too, but knowing DICE, this will just be one section with the forest, and the rest of the map will just be like not a forest. So we'll have to wait and see, but it looks good to me. And then there's the like inside section. A lot of people were thinking it was going to be like Locker, like a reimagination of Locker or something. I'm not sure. True, flashlights are in the game and there's no point using them. Maybe there's actually a reason to use them on this map. I would be really down for a night map as long as the visibility isn't garbage, like as long as I can actually see it. I'm very keen for it. I hope that they show us some stuff soon, because we really need, there needs to be some excitement in the community. The Redux stuff, I think it's a good idea, but it's not exciting. It's not going to hook me. So we need some sort of like actual announcement of something new. So hopefully we get a proper look at the new map soon. But with that being said, that is going to do it for another Reddit reaction. I'm keen to hear all your thoughts, especially on the stuff about what Ryan MacArthur said. Leave your own rants down in the comments section. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you all out there on the battlefield.